Hey guys, we're gonna go straight up in here. We're gonna be talking about dual sires, 2 males to a female. How you gonna know who the baby daddy? Hey guys, Ron here with BBM Reptiles. Thank you again for taking the time for stopping by my channel. And if you're new, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and follow me along in this incredible journey of reptile keeping, specifically working with ball pythons. A huge shout out I want to do again. This is a new shirt that was actually sent to me by Grab Your Balls. If you notice on my last video, I actually wore this shirt, but this was another cool one. He actually did the logo of my mascot, holding basically the logo of my my reptile company actually, and it's real cool. I really love it. Thank you very much for the details. And something else also, he put the star of hope on the same side as I have the tattoo of my daughter's name. Again, thank you very much. The details that you took into it to actually give this to me, it really did mean a lot to me. Again, huge shout out to Grab Your Balls. Okay guys, I know in the beginning I started going all street and all gangster, but you know, that's not me. You know, I'm a lot more chilled and more humbled down. So, you know, I'm not gonna pull out a knife at you know, any moment to basically prove a point. But what I wanted to actually get to is actually working dual sires. Now, dual sires is basically when you take 2 or even 3 males and you want to guarantee that female that you have that is going to actually lay for that season. You want to put as many males as you want, or that's the idea. And when I first started, that was actually pitched to me by a lot of people just to get my foot wet into this breeding and having that experience. But you're going to have that problem because if you're breeding multiple genes that has dark Moors, when you finally get that clutch, it's going to be real hard identifying and pulling out from one from the other to try to figure out who the parent is. I mean, like, you don't want to find yourself in this situation.
You are not
Now, to avoid something like that, and I've heard other breeders talk about the negativeness of working with supers, but that's why I actually love to have supers in my collections. Why? Because in this season right now, I actually paired my female clown, and I paired her with a dual sire. And the only reason I paired her with a dual sire is one of the snakes, so the male is a super, which I'm going to introduce to you right now. Bachelor number 1. This is a pastel super gravel, and this guy really loves to hit the highway. Yeah, he is a character. Now, the second male that I actually used for that same female was this shy guy. And here we have the Georgia Peach. This is the male dreamsicle, and he is a dreamer. Yeah, he's definitely a tail wagger. But the thing is that what I chose to do is when I bred a dual sire to this specific clutch, I was avoiding the problem of trying to identify from the clutches or the hatchlings which was the father. And I'll explain this. Because I use a super in this combination, anything that proves out gravel obviously came from the father, which was in the super side. Now, any normals that's going to come out, obviously it's going to be from the other side, which was the dreamsicle, because of the other snake being super, it has no possible way of actually producing normals. And that way it's going to give me a lot more clearer picture. I mean, like, there's going to be a big difference actually telling a pastel versus a normal, or even a gravel against a normal. So I won't have that issue. But when you're actually working with dual sires, you can actually get to the point that you can do it, but I would only suggest it during the years of actually breeding and you develop an eye of helping you ID a specific clutch. Because I know there are people that'll they'll do that dual sire clutch because they want to actually breed both males because they have the genes that's needed for that female. And even with the results, only because of the years they have been breeding, they develop that eye of basically trying to identify or even get that educated guess of what the possible outcomes could be. So when you're working dual sires, I know there's a lot of people that might say when you're starting out, go ahead just to get your feet wet and have that experience of breeding for the very first time, but it's gonna delay you even more because the idea in all this is trying to learn to identify those snakes that you're producing on your own. And pictures and even YouTube or basically Facebook, it's not going to really help you out when you're trying to identify a possible clutch that you produce, or even sending it to someone a lot more experienced, because maybe the lighting is off and it's not really helping you out. So you really have to actually struggle and work. And I would always suggest that start off with basic genes and not ones that's carrying too many. For example, if you were to go as a dual sire, let's say you have a pastel female and you want to use a fire male, or you want to use a black pastel male. You have those two separate males, but they're base genes. Now, fire males, basically with the pastel, you're going to get a firefly. So it's very, very simple to see the difference on that one if you were to get that. Or then again, if you get the black pastel with the pastel, you'll get a pewter. So basically you have another gene that works darker against its combo. So you get a darker combinations in contrast of the fire producing something a lot more brighter. So keep that in mind when you're considering working dual sires for females, especially when you're starting out. I mean, like, I'm not talking about those that have the experience and been breeding so long. I always like to give those first examples or those first tips to those new breeders that want to start breeding that first time, and they just want to make sure their females actually go, and they want to put as many males as they can to make sure that actually one of those males will hit it. The other possible problem that you can have down the future season is retained sperm. And that's basically when, if you put too many males to that female, if she does decide to use one of the sperms of the male, or there is a chance also that she can actually use both sperms from both males, and you can have a clutch of a dual sire. In other words, the clutch are basically from both fathers. That could actually happen. Like also that the female decides to hold on to that sperm, and the following season she'll use the other sperm from the other male, and that will be a problem when you're putting a third male on that next season. So besides actually making sure you're taking care of the combos that you're working with and knowing what are the males to avoid having any problems identifying it, go for those supers. Those supers are going to guarantee you that it's going to be 100% that morph that you're using. And what other genes besides that if you do decide to do a dual sire. So talking about dual sires, I'm going to show you actually the female that was used and the eggs that I got from the results, and some tricky way that I actually decided to incubate one of the boob eggs, because it did show that it didn't have veins, but it's from a clown, so that's something that you don't want to miss out. And the way that I decided to incubate that egg was kind of actually off the cuff. It's something I did at the last minute, and we're going to go look at that right now. Okay, here we have 8 eggs, and out of the 8 eggs, one's a boob egg. I'm about to candle each one just to make sure that everything has veins, including that boob egg. You'd be surprised, because even when you get small eggs, especially boob ones, you see it has that darker color, like it's a calcification on the top, but it's completely clear on the bottom. It's giving me hope, but I have to candle it regardless just to see if it actually does have veins. And right here, I'm about to basically set up my area. Right here is the perlites, and this is the female. This is a female clown, so I have her stand by just in case. As soon as I have everything done, I'm going to set her back into her tub. But just to give you an idea, this is the first step I'm going through when I'm about to put them in the incubator. Okay guys, I got the issue with this boob egg. Now I'm going to show you basically what I have. I'm going to get in the bathroom. Turn off the, well, the light's already off, but I want to show you. I want you to see something. I'm going to candle this boob egg. As you can see, it would look like it's infertile, but on the tip, there's some light veins. Let me see if I can actually focus this a lot more better. On the tip, there's some light veins right there. So since it is a boob egg, and heck, you know, I'm not going to miss out on anything if I incubate it anyway, but how am I going to incubate a single egg that's not going to take up a lot of space? Now this is from a clown, and the pairing, I mean, like, if it comes out, it'd be incredible. So this is what I plan to do. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna use basically this small deli cup. I'm gonna use that as a perlite. Now I did actually mark the side that I more or less saw the veins. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna incubate it in this. And worst case scenario, if I see after a few weeks it turns bad, well, you know, I gave it a try, but at least I didn't use up one of the tub space for that. So let's see if this experiment actually works out. Now I already put the water in there, so the important thing is like the egg can't get in contact with that. Now I don't want to cut my grates that I have to circle it. So since remember I was talking about the forks that I was cutting it, I'm going to use basically the forks, the leftover forks, and I'm going to basically outline the bottom, and I'm going to use that as a grate. Let's see. I'm going to use this as a grate to separate the eggs from actually touching the perlite and the water. I actually found something cool to work with. So there you go. I lined that up. Now what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to place the egg right there, and let's see. This is the little top I'm going to use, and heck, it would be real interesting if something actually proves out of this one. So we'll check back in 60 days. And there you go. That's the end result of that boob egg. And it's very transparent. As you can see what I did with the fork leftovers from the forks that I cut off from there. I use that as a grate to separate it. So at least I can have an idea, and I'll give that boob egg a chance. If it turns out as a slug, it's a lot more easier replacing that one than basically having to open up this tub. So that's going to be a cool one if it actually does prove out. So yeah, so hopefully we're going to see some beautiful results out of those clutches, and now I can't wait. I mean, like, those 55 to 60 days is probably be the longest I ever had to wait just to find out who is going to be the baby daddy of that clutch. And it's going to be something real exciting to actually wait. Wait a second.
Yep.
What's that? It's mail time. Whoa, whoa, what could this be? I got a snake from, I can't tell you yet. As a matter of fact, I'll leave that for the next video. Again, guys, if you're new, hit the subscribe button and follow me on this journey. And heck, watch that next unboxing I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a killer one. Anyway, thank you again for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. And until the next time, I'll see you in the next video.